Hello there, I'm MountPain27 and this is Dean of Doom, the show where we give grades to classic and contemporary Doomwads. Why? Because ranking things is fun. Today's episode will be dedicated to Scythe 2, Erik Alm's acclaimed follow-up to his debut megawad Scythe. First released in 2005 and completed in 2009 with the addition of maps 28 to 30, Scythe 2 broke new ground with its innovative level progression, lavish detailing, and cutting-edge combat. In the words of Doomworld historian Not Jabba, Scythe 2 hit on a certain something, a magic formula that modern mappers tend to draw on regardless of what mapping school they're in or who they credit as their most direct influences. Simply put, this megawad defined what a modern map set looks and feels like. It tapped into the bloodstream of the Doom community and fed us a drug. One of the main ingredients in Scythe 2's winning formula is its organization into 6 aesthetically distinct episodes with forced pistol starts that steadily escalate in difficulty, a refinement of the original Scythe structure. It's not hard to see why Eviternity and Valiant borrowed this model. Breaking up a megawad into discrete chunks aids digestion and offers a more varied experience than your typical 32-map marathon. Also, like its predecessor, Scythe 2 is a litmus test for your dooming ability. Those who can handle the later episodes with ease should have their names engraved on busts in the Doom Hall of Fame. I saved the best for last this hard sequels month, so kick back and enjoy the fireworks, folks. Here's how the show works. Every map gets 1 grade for quality and 1 for difficulty. On the quality side, the grades go from A to F. Grade A levels are fun, memorable, visually distinctive, creative, and a fair challenge. Difficulty grades go from X to E. X for extreme, E for easy, A through D in between. Keep in mind that I'm not the world's best Doom player, and, well, I guess I am halfway decent at the game if I can beat Plutonia 2, Hell Revealed 2, and Scythe 2, but if I can do it, so can you. Anyway, I also probably won't have the same ideas about what makes a great level as you do, but that's okay. Disagreeing is part of the fun, after all. At the end of the day, this show is about spreading the joy of Doom, so let's do so. Quickly before we start, the rules are we play on ultraviolence and must pistol start each level. I need to play the wad twice before reviewing it, saves are allowed, and we go for 100% kills in all levels, making exceptions when it's just not worth it. I play on Z-Doom with compatibility set to strict. Now to the wad. Map 1, Castle Entryway. 2 secrets right off the bat. Get the chainsaw behind this wall and the shotgun from the tunnel behind this metal face. Now you're ready to rumble. Castle Entryway is laid back and prettier than most of Scythe 1 all by itself. The earthy custom textures splashed with bright reds, the tasteful trick bridge, and the gentle lighting are a feast for the eyes. It's kind of funny. The whole first episode is scored by midified gothic rock songs. Get it? Like gothic architecture? Whatever, I think it's funny. The exit blocking Revenant is a lot more foreboding if you played Scythe 2 before. Grade A-, difficulty D-. Map 2, Rooftop Warzone. With some help from a friendly candle secret, you can cushion the start of this one. The action is slightly higher impact than Map 1, but not by much. I almost died here, but I was being a pinhead, and if you get into trouble, Erik's got your back with yet another candle secret. This Macubus imp fight on the roof is fun, and I like the floor texture and the design on the ceiling. Solid map. Grade B+, difficulty D. Map 3, Castle Gardens 2. The centerpiece of the Gothic episode, Castle Gardens 2 is a perfect tutorial on how to open up a level organically, moving from the dank dungeon tunnels to the castle grounds to the runaround outside the walls, where you'll reckon with the first big fight in the wad. Once again, the secrets are a nice diversion, and can help with some of the heavier stuff, like this surprise archvile appearance. Sprightly combat, memorable setting, replayability, this map's got it all. Grade A, difficulty C. Map 4, Cursed Cellars. This is a pure popcorn map, offensive, rapid fire, and fun. Erik Alm's lighting continues to impress, from this shadowy basement skirmish to the high contrast archvile attack by the blue key. All the properties of light be damned, it looks cool. Keep a lookout for more candles, and have your plasma gun ready for when you go through the red portal near the end. Cursed Cellars is a blast. I wish it was longer. Grade A-, difficulty D+. Map 5, Halls of Anguish. Don't treat this like another freebie. The first room is loaded with shotgunners and imps, and just down the hall you'll get a look from an archvile and a pain elemental at the same time. Pick your poison. The cyber demon in the Great Hall serves as the final boss of the episode. Thanks but no thanks for all the rockets, Erik. Not with all those lost souls around. Halls of Anguish is a bit uneventful for my liking, and it's probably the weakest map in the episode for that reason. Grade B, difficulty C-. Map 6, Temple Entryway, in which Scythe 2 takes a turn for the spooky. With its minimal arms and ammunition, low lighting, and tiptoeing MIDI, Temple Entryway is a mood piece that doubles as a combat puzzle. You'll have to lean on infighting if you can't find the secrets. 2 of them are fairly obvious, but the last requires good awareness of your surroundings to sniff out. The 4 revenants stowed in the exit will be a problem if you burned your ammo and didn't leave any hefties alive to deal with them. This is an ideal opener. Temple Entryway is short, handsome, and rewards exploration. Grade A, difficulty D+. Map 7, Temple of Isis. How do you say dead simple in Arabic? Temple of Isis totally redeems Erik Alm's half-hearted Map 7 effort from Scythe 1. It's a 3-minute throwdown with our favorite combination of Doom 2 monsters and some cannon fodder in the supporting cast. Despite its shameless recycling of a gimmick that was done to death even in 2005, I can't find it within me to dislike a map that's as pleasing to look at and play as this. It's just that simple. Grade A-, difficulty C-. Map 8, Grave Robbers. I'll tell you what, Erik Alm knocked it out of the park with his music choices. Ripped from an old SNES game called Illusion of Gaia, this MIDI has the allure of an old-fashioned Hollywood epic. It's like the 10 Commandments Doom edition or something. Grave Robbers is an adventure map through and through, and the first major departure from Scythe 1's speed mapping paradigm. Prior to recording for this video, I never uncovered more than half of this map's 8 secrets, and while some of them I could take or leave, the sepulcher hinted at by the map's title is a must-see. Find the red key, lower the wall for a BFG, and you'll be accosted by the Queen of the Ruins, Spider Patra? Or maybe Arak Nefertiti. I like my strategy of getting her to infight with the enemies that gush out of the temple when you grab the rocket launcher. It's ammo efficient and fun to watch. Archviles are becoming more common, but they mostly work alone for now. Probably the most unfair moment in the megawad so far is this Revenant teleport ambush, which seems rigged to block off your escape. Grave Robbers is a standout map, part of a proud legacy of Egyptian adventure maps, and probably one of the main inspirations behind Eternal's epic duology. Grade A, difficulty B-. Map 9, Valley of the Queen. In the text file, Erik Alm describes Valley of the Queen as the worst map of the bunch, no doubt. Fun for rocket launcher nuts, maybe. Don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I'm a rocket launcher nut, but I think that's too humble an appraisal. Grab the rocket launcher, SSG, and the secret plasma rifle for insurance, and then open the floodgates and get ready to mow down a rushing river of monsters. The setup is simple, sure, but it satisfies. Valley of the Queen is Scythe 2's first major bloodletting, and it's been one of my personal favorites since day one. Grade A-, difficulty C+. Map 10, Pharaoh's Tomb. Not sure what's up with that spelling, but we'll just roll with it. In the gloomy hush that descends between fights in Pharaoh's Tomb, you can almost hear Scythe 2 cracking its knuckles. The tension is thick enough to cut with a chainsaw, and that's for good reason. This elevator ride is where it starts getting serious. Ready your rocket launcher and hunker down in the corner. You'll want to blast your way out and grab the plasma rifle as soon as possible to avoid getting smothered. After dispatching these revenants, brace yourself, because 2 cyber demons and an archvile will teleport in after you grab the megasphere and BFG. You should have plenty of ammo, but this fight is still a knee-knocker. Egyptian Night is probably my favorite Scythe 2 theme. The amount of atmosphere and personality Alm can generate with shading effects and a few well-placed lines is astonishing. Grade A-, difficulty B. Map 11, UAC Base X. Probably the most unremarkable map so far, UAC Base X is actually more forgiving than last episode's opener. It's a shotgun workout, and accepting a few interjections from Cacos, Revenants, a Pain Elemental, and this obligatory exit-guarding archvile, the gameplay isn't far removed from shareware Doom. Strangely enough, you don't get a chain gun until map 14 in the industry episode, so don't waste any time looking for it. The pretty lighting barely keeps this from being Alm's blandest aesthetic effort, and he seems to acknowledge this in the text file. Grade B-, difficulty D+. Map 12, Battlegrounds. This trap-heavy toxic sweatshop will punish you for rushing through it. When getting the blue key, for example, it's safest to chop down these 2 Mancubi before hustling to the switch behind them, because you'll then have to rush for the BFG, nuke an archvile, and finally tangle with a cyber demon. If you can track down the rocket launcher, this outdoor shootout is good fun, and with the BFG in hand, you're vastly overpowered for the final fight. I'm not complaining. Keep in mind, Erik Alm is allowing you to stretch your legs here. Don't get cocky. Grade B+, difficulty B-. Map 13, Mining Project. After thoroughly enjoying Temple of Isis, Valley of the Queen, and Mining Project, I've got to admit to a weakness for maps that give me a lot of shit to blow up. Mining Project is a big open basin padded out with incidental encounters which serve as appetizers for this glut of Revenants, Hell Knights, and Cacodemons that teleport in when you lower the blue key. I didn't grab the BFG before jumping down this time, which is not something I would have risked if it wasn't the end of Hard Sequels Month. After Hell Revealed 2, this is like swinging a baseball bat after taking off the donut. You get 100 cells and 15 rockets to handle this pair of archviles at the exit, so don't bother hoarding ammo. Mining Project is 5 to 10 minutes of reliable entertainment. Grade A-, difficulty C+. Map 14, The Haunted Mines. This soundtrack is full of surprises. The quiet, oddly confident Super Metroid MIDI is a pleasant, if unlikely, accompaniment to this map, which unfortunately can't compensate for its drudgery with good looks. Compared to Scythe 2 so far, The Haunted Mines plods. The entire first half is just super shotgunning Revenants, and the second half is very uncomfortable. This Baron blocking your elevator and the Revenant sandwich on the bridge are 2 random acts of unkindness, and the fight in the central building can rip you up unless you know how to deal with it. And you deal with it by not dealing with it. Interacting with this vent will lower a teleporter in the middle of the room, which sends you to a secret nook where you won't be pressured by the enemies below, leaving you free to pick off Revenant turrets, hit scanners, and assorted stragglers. I've only done this fight the hard way once, and I'm never going back. The Haunted Mines is enough work as it is. Grade B-, difficulty B+. Map 15, End of the Line. End of the Line is another episode closer that raises the bar on difficulty. This OG Scythe referencing strobe room is kind enough to give you a blur sphere for all this nonsense, and the red key room dogpile isn't bad if you know where to jump safely, but this teleport ambush that turns into an Archvile 2-step can get hairy in a hurry, and get a load of this yellow key security. Let the Cyber Demon kill the vials, and try not to burn all your cells on cleanup. You're gonna need them in a minute. For whatever reason, Erik Alm decided to make map 31 inaccessible if you don't make this very specific leap for the yellow key right at the start. If you take the regular path through the map, the secret exit switch will sink into the floor. Lucky for us, Doom doesn't care about height differences when it comes to pressing switches. Episode 3 closes out on this pitched mini slaughterfest. Clear out the Macubi first, grab the goodies, make figure 8s, and fire rockets till the skeletons stop screaming. Grade B+, difficulty A-. Map 31, secret. Actually, let's come back to this one. Map 32, super secret. Erik Alm gives Scythe Map 1 the E3M9 treatment, pulling the rug out from under you when you try to exit. I guess the evil red sky kinda gives it away. You can mostly go ham with the BFG here. Aggressive players can clear out this map in about 5 minutes, but first timers have their work cut out for them. We've got 78 Revenants, 18 Archviles, Barons and Hell Knights in bulk, and a couple of boss monsters just for the heck of it. Make sure to have 600 cells for the final showdown because the compound gets completely swarmed with Archviles. There are extra cells in the watery outdoor area if you need them. Fans of the original Scythe will appreciate this one significantly more than someone who wasn't brought up on it. Grade B-, difficulty A. Map 16, Mr. X. Imagine what it must have been like to stumble into this map back in 2005. For most new players, Mr. X's reputation precedes it, and that's a shame, because the thrill of being hunted by an unknown foe is essentially this map's sole reward. It's about 2 minutes of pure horror movie, and then... Okay, I'm gonna spill the beans now, so if you don't want to know the twist, skip to the timestamp on your screen. Mr. X is an evil marine, one of 2 custom enemies in Scythe 2. He's an inhumanly quick, anti-Doom guy that fires plasma bolts in triplets. At close range, he can kill you in a split second, and in a map as dark and cramped as this one, he's heavily favored. Unless you accessed map 31 and are playing continuously, you'll have to make do with a shotgun. Be quick, because Mr. X can shrug off 4 or 5 blasts of buckshot before biting it. In the context of Mr. X, the evil marine is a clever and effective enemy type, but he's also way overpowered and easy to tire of, which bodes badly for a level that relies on him to deliver thrills. He does, once. Grade B, difficulty C, and now we can go back to map 31, secret. Had I not spent the last 2 months intermittently deathmatching on the weekends, I would have unloaded on this map with both barrels. Only your super shotgun and 2 measly rockets stand between you and 8 evil marines. Find a circuit, run like a maniac, and make your shots count. Getting the yellow key is the worst part. It's easy to get pinned or singed by errant plasma fire on your way out. Again, if I hadn't been deathmatching recently, this level would have 0 appeal to me, but now I get a kick out of playing this map normally. It feels like practice. Wait, what do you mean playing the map normally, Mount Pain? Well, there's another way to beat this map, and it's infamous. The only way to access map 32 is by collecting all the keys and sprinting to this door within 11 seconds of the level's start. If you're too slow, the door will jam. If you miss a key, make a sloppy turn, or bump into a wall, just restart. What makes this challenge especially RNG dependent is the erratic behavior of the 6 evil Doom guys who can corner you, block you, and pelt you with plasma before you reach the door. The only reason I don't regret doing this is because I got footage of myself beating it. Erik Alm once claimed to have a 1 in 20 success rate of catching the secret exit, and he, quote, doesn't consider himself to be that great of a player. So I wonder where that leaves me after 167 failed attempts. Grade C, difficulty B+. Map 17, Canyon of Blood. The rugged natural sights and nicely staggered fights make Canyon of Blood a big hit with me. There's a sort of grim serenity to this place. Canyon of Blood is as barren and still as a corpse picked clean by vultures. This compound doesn't feel guarded so much as occupied, like the way zombies sort of inhabit shopping malls after the apocalypse dies down. Alm doesn't seem particularly proud of this one, warning the player about the most complicated and crappiest 3D bridge ever. I mean, it might be complicated, but it's certainly not... Oh, Canyon of Blood isn't all cosmetic. This Mancubus and Caco ambush is exciting, and the final deluge of monsters spilling from the mountain is pure carnage. Good stuff. Grade A-, difficulty B+. Map 18, Living Lands. This decrepit waste dump packs less than 100 foes, but don't think that means you can relax. Every unit pulls its weight, and there's a cyber demon waiting for you at the end who'll suck down your remaining resources without a second thought. Running out of ammo isn't an option with 3 arachnotrons guarding the exit. The Mancubus gets a lot of love in Living Lands, so turn the tables and take advantage of his infighting skills. This map isn't quite as moody as the first 2 in the episode, but it keeps the ball rolling. Grade B+, difficulty B. Map 19, Withering Away. Easily the strictest map in the set so far supplies-wise, Withering Away demands liberal use of Berserk and thrifty shotgun work. This secret soul sphere can mitigate a black eye or 2. Try to make it last, because this map is full of scraps that you may or may not have the ammo for. The final fight is kind of a joke though. If you just run back the way you came, you can essentially crack a beer and watch them kill each other. If that's not your style, you should have enough cells to liquefy everything with a BFG, assuming you were able to find it. Oh, and thank Thank God for this arrow. I don't know how else I would have found the exit. Grade B+, difficulty B+. Map 20, The Gates. The quiet intensity of the Waste episode finale is arguably unrivaled in Scythe 2. Given a dreamlike veneer by its inspired MIDI selection, The Gates is genuinely unnerving. The action is amorphous and uncharacteristically open-ended for Alm. Hell Knights huddle in dark caverns waiting to potshot you, and Revenants roam around in packs and snipe you from the sentry towers. You can't afford to miss the rocket launcher. It's tucked away in the caverns to the east. Picking up the BFG releases 4 cyber demons. You can deal with them right away, or hope they infight with the enemies that teleport in while you clear out the Archvile, Revenant, Baron, and Hell Knight barracks that house switches which unlock the castle door. I really can't understate how much the Gates benefits from the dramatic weight its MIDI gives it. It is the reason I remember this map so well. Charge up your BFG for the final room, which besets you with a pair of cyber demons and a platoon of evil marines. If it wasn't clear already, this is Scythe 2's point of no return. Grade A, difficulty A-. Map 21, Doom Gardens. Is this what you expected? Calm music? Earthy colors, a couple of zombie men patrolling the halls. The bloodshot sky is the lone indication that evil is afoot. Doom Gardens is an ammo conservation puzzle a la Map 6. All you get here is a chainsaw, berserk, a pistol, some bullets, and a rocket launcher with 19 rockets. I suggest you try to enjoy the scenery while the monsters kill each other. Berserk in emergencies and spend bullets only on lost souls and zombie men. This approach may sound over careful, but you can't risk running out of rockets before dealing with the Baron, Megawad, and a pair of Revenants at the end. The gentle music box MIDI is the perfect offset for Doom Garden's fervent pace and underlying sense of dread. Grade A-, difficulty C+. Map 22, The Garden Base 2. The Garden Base 2 is yet another tightly wound ammo drought. Whether or not you choose to be frugal is up to you, but I like to save up a few rockets for this Macubus pool and the shootout with the Revenants, Arachnos, and Shotgunner pillboxes. I save all the cells I can muster for the not 1, not 2, but 3 evil marines and the cyber demon guarding the exit. The end of Garden Base 2 is what I like to call the Great Shelf, because the next 8 maps are the real deal. It took me 3.5 hours of recording to get here, and the rest of the megawad took me 5. Grade B+, difficulty A-. Map 23, Whispering Winds. This is it. Scythe 2 is all out of gum. This is where Erik Alm cries havoc and lets slip the dogs of war. Whispering Winds is one of the wickedest turns I've ever seen a megawad take. The monster count jumps to over 500. The map starts with you getting shelled by a cyber demon, chased by revenants, blocked by macubi, sniped by chain gunners, a mastermind, and even some peripheral archviles, and it actually gets more bananas from there. Don't be sentimental with rockets, because some of these fights can only be dealt with if you have cells. I hope to God you're bold with a BFG, because the chattering bonehead hordes permit absolutely no pussyfooting. In this map and the next 2 combined, there are over 600 revenants, and to give you some idea of the scale of that statement, there are 422 revenants in the Plutonia experiment. They are everywhere. This map has some of the worst evil marine placements in the megawad. Alm hides them in the shadows and behind corners to maximize their short-range lethality. Whispering Winds springs traps so ridiculous they make the rest of the set look like a tea party. Here's getting the blue key. Here's another one in a bunker that I actually made easier on myself with a secret ammo stash. And here's the final fight. You just have to see it to believe it. Do not try to rush through this map until you know its tricks. I applaud Erik Alm's economy of space and utter ballsiness, but man oh man is Whispering Winds exhausting. Catch your breath, we're just getting started. Grade A-, difficulty X. Map 24, Gaia's Temple. My favorite map in the Earth Jungle episode, Gaia's Temple is a sumptuous bloodbath. It's even more populated than Whispering Winds, notable for owning the megawad's highest revenant count. But between big fights, the pressure is relatively low, making it less relentless than Map 23. That's not to say it won't kill you. It will. The Archvile convention in the lava corridor is completely bonkers, like it's designed to desensitize you. And this is the first time I survived this incredibly nasty pitfall on my first try. By the way, I wouldn't be showing so many unedited gameplay clips if there was a better way to describe how insane this is. A very obscure invulnerability sphere can help soften the ending, a suplex of chain gunners, revenants, cyber demons, and whatever else. Erik Alm saves his last dickhead move for the very end. I'd laugh, but I'm too tired. Jokes aside, this map is beautiful, the combat is electric, and the MIDI has a way of fortifying you in the eye of the storm. Grade A, difficulty X-. Map 25, Forgotten City. I don't know if Forgotten City is the hardest map in the episode, but it's definitely got the hardest start. The Macubi here will shellac you if you don't respect them. The chain gunner crossfire can rip you to pieces, and firing a shot will wake up the cyber demon behind you. Don't alert this evil Doom guy until you're ready. It's fun to watch him roast somebody else's marshmallow for once. I ran out of rockets before attempting to break into the ziggurat, which wasn't ideal, but sometimes you just have to improvise. You know what really starts to hit the fan when you get indoors. I definitely should have left this cyber demon alive for infighting. When you're minus a BFG, an angry Scythe is the next best thing for suppressing this kind of monster volume. Ironically, when you finally do lay hands on the big fragging gun, you'll want to save it for probably the most absurd fight in the entirety of Scythe 2 up to this point. This watery courtyard gets inundated with revenants, barons, pinkies, chain gunners, and evil marines, and let me tell you, it's the guys in red that'll get you. If you don't have any cells going into this fight, just restart the map. I found that pre-firing a BFG ball will help you gain a foothold, but by no means does it guarantee survival. The blue key unlocks your path to the exit, where in a stroke of morbid genius, Erik Alm makes you commit suicide to access the final episode. I highly suggest taking a real-life break before you forage ahead. Forgotten City is long, punishing, and uncompromising to the point of open hostility, but the next episode makes me nostalgic for it. Grade B+, difficulty X. I'm 99% sure that this map and the next one were prototypes for Scythe 2's 26th map, which is simply called Death. If you're wondering when Dean of Doom Scythe 2 is coming out, the answer is, I have yet to beat Death, even with saves. Map 26, Death. Everything about Death is disturbing. The lighting, the layout, the monster placement, the music, everything. It's no surprise I couldn't handle it on first go around. Death demands religious devotion to indirect engagement and punching the shit out of everything you can handle. The first 30 seconds are terror and confusion incarnate. You're weaponless, surrounded, and lost. If you try attacking anything, you'll wake up revenants, specters, pain elementals, and a virtually unavoidable archvile. I do not know how to get the red key without dying, except by not attacking until I'm safely through the red door. And after that, I still have no clear strategy for this map. I essentially hide, hope for good infighting, and try not to run out of shotgun shells before facing down the Ifrit. Ah, the Ifrit. Scythe 2's second custom monster is built like a truck, flies around, and flings gobs of Mancubus fireballs and Revenant missiles interchangeably. He is horrible. Hide behind a corner or try to make him infight, that's all I can say. Death is a shattering experience for players who were hanging on for dear life in Episode 5, and it may be a bad habit of mine to revere that which makes me suffer, but Death is going to stick in my head for a long, long time, whether I like it or not. Grade A, difficulty X. Map 27, Afterlife 2. An intimidating display of orchestrated psychopathy. Afterlife 2 was the last stop on your Scythe 2 campaign if you were playing in 2005, and I don't think the Map 27 slot erases that sense of finality. Afterlife 2 is home to some of Scythe 2's most jaw-dropping visuals and powerhouse action set pieces. I've beaten this map the bare minimum number of times, and the second run took me over an hour to finish. It's one of the hardest maps I've ever played, but also one of the most striking visions of hell ever rendered in Doom, and its MIDI, Dancing Mad from Final Fantasy VI, is unbeatable. Since Afterlife 2 doesn't give you a BFG, the Alien Vendetta-inspired Crucifixion Courtyard is suicide to deal with directly. Just run away and hope the horde thins itself out, while you figure out a way to also get out of the fire after jumping the frying pan. Without the secret invulnerability, this sprint past the Cyber Demon, Revenants, and Pain Elementals will tear you to shreds, and if that don't get you, my sister Mountain surely will. orchestrated psychopathy. The 5 Afrits in this map are the least of your problems. That's how hard Afterlife 2 is. Erik Alm at his most malevolent is about as scary as it gets. Grade A, difficulty X. Map 28, Nightmare. 4 years after Scythe 2's initial release, Erik Alm released one last unholy trinity to finish out the set, kicking off with Nightmare, an unsubtle BFG-only slaughterfest. After the calculated frustration of death in Afterlife 2, Nightmare plays like a power fantasy. You almost can't run out of ammo, the layout is a wide open playground, and have I mentioned you've got a BFG? After all we've been through since map 23, Nightmare is a pushover. The only fight that scares me here is the last one. Alm loses 2 phalanxes of Kakos and Pain Elementals and a flock of Afrits on you. Even for a well-trained Doom guy with a super weapon, it's a lot. The following year, Speed of Doom would improve on the BFG-only concept in another map 28, Twilight Massacre. Grade B+, difficulty A. Map 29, Dust to Dust. Strange, quiet, and maddening, Dust to Dust completely arrests Scythe 2's momentum. Without prior knowledge of triggers and important item locations, it's very easy to get lost, fall behind, or paint yourself into a corner. 4 years also seems to have changed Erik's mind about whether or not lava should hurt you in the final episode. Dust to Dust's pervasive use of damaging floors is inconvenient and distracting. The last thing this map needed was a combat clock with everything else it put on your plate. So many questions racing through my mind. Should I burn my shells on the early Afrits or let them float around until I can find something big for them to infight? How was I supposed to know this broken coffin was a mandatory part of the level progression? And why can I just walk over these yellow bars? Doesn't that break the... Never mind. Dust to Dust finishes out with an Archvile Afrit double date, which leaves an even sourer taste in my mouth than what was already left there by what came before. Grade C+, difficulty X-. Map 30, Haunting Dreams. What a finish. Haunting Dreams is a slaughter extravaganza for the ages. No icon of sin, no final boss of any kind, just you, your BFG, Hell's Last Army, and some Symphony X. To get this party started, get an Archvile's attention, jump up here, and take the elevator to an invulnerability. Outside the fortress, you'll find a series of portals that warp you back to some familiar places, now with extra venom in their bite. Emerging from each pocket dimension causes another wave of enemies to flood the hellish hub, building to what I think of as the climax of the map and the megawad, a staggering crescendo of Archviles resurrecting their fallen comrades almost as fast as you can cut them down like crops at harvest time. Back and forth. You knew it all along, folks. You are the Scythe. In the Gaia Temple Nightmare, turn immediately to your right and press the demon's face for a life-saving invuln, and from there it's a matter of patiently surviving the last outfit of Afrits and rubbing out the stragglers. I can't imagine a better ending to Scythe 2 than the Technicolor slaughter of Haunting Dreams. Bravo. Grade A, difficulty A+. So, talk about a comeback. It took me over a year to get around to finishing Scythe 2. Death, Afterlife 2, and Dust to Dust left me devastated, powerless, frustrated, and despairing. It took time, research, and hard-earned experience, but in the end, I overcame them all. I remember looking at this very cast call screen, glaring at the disco dancing skeleton, and saying, that just wasn't worth it. But you know what? I've had a major change of heart. Scythe 2's scenic variety is incredible, its maps are always in motion and full of clever ideas, and the ending is sensational. I can now finally see why so many people include Scythe 2 in their list of desert island wads. It takes a long time to master, but it absolutely rewards your effort and attention. My final grade for this all-time classic is an A. Once again, it's hard to summarize Scythe 2's difficulty in a single mark, but I'm gonna give it an X-, which represents not the mean of the mapset's difficulty grades, but rather how hard it is to complete Scythe 2 back to front. Now for my Dean's List. Valedictorian. This was very hard. There's lots of competition, but I'm gonna go with map 24, Gaia's Temple. Salutatorian is gonna be a tie between maps 26 and 27, Death and Afterlife 2. Class President, map 27, Afterlife 2, and the dunce cap goes to map 31, Secret. Scythe 2 clearly also deserves an honor roll, so here we go. It's a long one, so I'll read it fast. Map 1, Castle Entryway. Map 3, Castle Gardens 2. Map 4, Cursed Cellars. Map 6, Temple Entryway. Map 7, Temple of Isis. Map 8, Grave Robbers. Map 9, Valley of the Queen. Map 10, Pharaoh's Tomb. Map 13, Mining Project. Map 17, Canyon of Blood. Map 20, The Gates. Map 21, Doom Gardens. Map 23, Whispering Winds. And Map 30, Haunting Dreams. And that's Hard Sequels Month, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching, and please feel free to share your thoughts on the WAD down below. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'll heart your comments to let you know I've read them. Now, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my generous patrons. Aaron Allen, Aaron Berger, Akalai, Alec Wehrman, Alexander Semenkov, Alex Topfer, Alex Max, Ari Adair, Builder Sith, Kappa Bitch, Cheese Wheel, Chris Duthat, Chris O'Neill, Christophine Place, Kiara P, Crafty1 Cal, Dan, Delirium, Dorothy Miller, Eggboy, Emma Essex, Enraged Eggplant, Final Brett, Furnace, Garu Dave, General Roasterock, Glenn Marmon, Griffin Upchurch, Holy Hell Revealed When, In Captivity, Jared C. Bly, Jesse Taylor, Josh Ballard, Just Great 98, Camille Bernadotte, Leon Staten, Mark Rowland, Marky Music, Master Drew 117, Matt, Matthew Gower, Mixer, Mr. Bob Cyndaquil, My Olden, Neurometry, Nick Machado, Number 26, One True Purple, Pyro She, Randy A, Roadworks, Rune, Sega Monkey, Shakes999, Sid Menon, Spinner 8, Stupid Nick, Susanna Grimm, Tara Kishino, The Bell Tolls, TJG1289, Trilby Trillion, Turbine 2K5, and Y Bimo Not a Crab. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Also, special thanks to Erik Alm for introducing me to the Sisters of Mercy. Temple of Love and Black Planet got me through this week. Thanks, man. This is MountPain27, and I'll see you in the next episode of Dean of Doom.